Welcome back to Books with Beck. I'm Beck. Let's talk books. One of the big questions I get when people hear I'm a reader is, what's your favorite book? What's the best book you've ever read? Like, what's the best book of all time? Trying to figure out if they're going to read a book, what book should it be? And I always have the same answer. Always have. But I've had the same answer for 13 years. So I'm wondering if I actually still like it or if it was just nostalgia and I was just too attached to it. Today we're gonna find out. I am reading my favorite childhood book again and seeing if it still holds the same hype. My favorite book, if anyone asks me, I'm going to answer Mick, Harte Was Here by Barbara Park. I feel like this is what made me a reader. I was reading this at probably the age of 11 or 12 at a summer camp, and I specifically remember everyone in the background playing at the pool and splashing around with their friends and laughing and playing and creating summer memories. And I was hanging out with my best friend this book. So somehow this thing gripped my attention and never let go. And it sticks with me every single day. I think about this book at least once a week. I recommend it to my students. I recommend it to people all the time. I love this book. And I don't think that it's super well known because anytime I talk about it, people think that I'm crazy. Like, it doesn't seem to be something that people align with. But this book truly was one of the first books I made like a super strong emotional connection to and identified with in just such a strong way. Because there were other books as a kid that I loved, but nothing like this truly stuck with me. Now, there are other books that pop into my mind from my childhood. For example, the series of Unfortunate Events, all of the Shannon Hale novels. I really, really loved Little Women. I had so many books that I was passionate about, but this book just changed the game for me. And it is incredibly sad, which I think can explain why I love sad books so much now. So I'm really excited to read it again. This book is tiny, so this is probably going to be finished today. Let me just put that out there. There is 88 pages. My favorite book of all time is 88 pages. My favorite book of all time is 88 pages. I really hope this is as good as I remember. I'm gonna feel really, really stupid. Before we get started, I am gonna read you the little intro synopsis. That way you kind of have a picture of what kind of book we are reading today. So it says, it was a bike accident. His tire just hit a rock and skidded into the back of a passing truck, and that was it. When her brother Mick is killed, Phoebe Harte's world is suddenly turned upside down. How could someone like Mick die? Mick was one of the neatest kids you'd ever want to meet. The kid who freaked his mom out by putting a ceramic eye in a defrosting chicken. Who went trick-or-treating as Thomas Crapper, the inventor of the modern-day flush toilet. Who did a wild solo dance in front of the whole school because the music got in his pants. And the kid who, if he'd only worn his bicycle helmet, would still be alive now. Even just reading that, I want to cry because I think, if I'm honest about it, I think that this book as a kid reminded me so much of my brother, and we have such a strong relationship because we're trauma bonded. And here I am, I'm about to cry talking about it already. So I think that this book was so emotional to me because I could not even fathom the concept of losing my brother. And so I think it was kind of like a healing process for me. I don't know why I'm about to start crying. If you're my brother and you're watching this, I love you. Be prepared for some tears because I remember crying many a time that summer and I'm not even started. Okay. Cut the camera. Cut the camera. This quote unfortunately does describe my brain pretty well. It says, I have a weird kind of memory, I think. Like I've never once been able to remember my parents' anniversary in time to buy them a card, but I can still remember the exact conversation I had with Santa Claus when I was in kindergarten. Like, yeah, I think I just really enjoy the way Barbara Park writes in general. Like, she's so character development focused and has a wonderful introductory hook. Like, she writes a book for third graders and I teach fourth grade. I don't know what to tell you. I love her, I love her, I love her. Okay, I'm literally on page 12 and I'm already cracking up laughing. There's so much that I didn't remember from this book. So just to give a summary of where we're at right now, our main character is Phoebe, and this is his older sister. She's not that much older than him, but just a little bit older. And her little brother, Mick, she was like the first one to be able to understand him, and so they got along really well when they were little, but obviously now that he's in 7th grade, he's a butthead, and so they just don't get along, right? So she starts the book by telling you Mick is dead, okay? That's how she starts the book. So it's not like, she even says, it's not like you're gonna get to meet the main character, fall in love with him, and then he's gonna die later, okay? So she's giving like flashbacks to when they were kids and kind of like explaining their relationship a little bit more. And she talks about this one time that they carved a word into the driveway concrete when it was still setting. And she was just learning how to spell and he was just learning how to write. So they chose to do the word fart, and he spelled the R backwards, but you know. So when their parents find out about them, they sit them down to like, hey, tell us what happened. Like, you need to tell us the truth, like what happened. And it says, Mick swallowed hard, took a big step forward and told them, a monkey did it. And I just think that is so funny and cute. And maybe this explains why I have such a childish sense of humor, but a monkey did it. So serious, plain face. I am crying again already. So I am in chapter 3 right now, and she's already told about like the morning that he passed and like going through all of that. And I don't know, this book is still good. It's still so good. Like, the way that this author portrays characters is so beautiful, and it makes sense as to why I'm such a character development person now. Like, that's what I look for in books. And it's so interesting that this reminds me so much of my brother, because the family dynamic that they have is nothing like our family, but his humor is very much my brother. So this is gold. It's gold. I have no doubt that this is still going to be my answer when people ask me, but reading it again, it's like there's so much that I've forgotten. I'm on page 32, so this is probably gonna be the shortest video I've ever posted, probably the most cries in a video I've ever posted. I don't know, y'all. Thought it was a good idea at the time. Something I really enjoy about this book that I did not remember is that it's told in first person point of view from Phoebe's perspective, but it's all past tense. So it almost feels like it's a diary entry or maybe a letter to us, because she knows that it's like she's acknowledging that we're there as readers reading the book. Okay, I am in fact crying again. I'm on page 48. Here's the thing. Even the best friend in this, her best friend, is very similar to my best friend. Like, she calls her and is talking to her about like this service they had at the school, and obviously Phoebe like doesn't want to hear it, slams the phone, and yet when she calls, immediately Zoe picks up and is like, okay, hey, you know. And that's just so my best friend. I could be the worst person to her, but she's gonna pick up. All of this is just, I didn't even remember half of this, and somehow it's still getting to me so much. So I guess I need an unbiased party to read this book and let me know if it's really as sad as I feel like it is, or if it's just all the nostalgia and like personal connection to the characters that I have. But page 48. So I'm like halfway through now. Okay. They were riding to the memorial service, okay? She said, as soon as my mother felt my fingers, she put her hand over mine. Then with her other hand, she reached for Pop. And that's how we rode the rest of the way to the church, connected like a family chain, sort of, with one link missing. Barbara! Stop! I will say there's a lot more about her relationship with God in this than I remember. Like, I don't remember that being a big point in the book whenever I was a kid. But I think that it's not necessarily like a religious book per se. It brings up God in a couple of different ways, but it's more so of like a natural questioning that someone goes through when they experience such a big loss, and that grief of like questioning God and questioning your religion and stuff. So by no means is this like a Christian book, but there are definitely some Christian undertones in that like internal conflict present, which I don't remember. So I don't know. I'm on page 63 and I just got to Dogs Can Laugh in Heaven. So I have a feeling this chapter is going to make me cry just based off that title alone. I think I only have 3 chapters left. So I have like 20 pages left. This book has gone so quickly. It is insane to me how teeny it is, and yet it can pack so much emotion because you get so attached to the characters so quickly. And like there's fantasy books that I've read that are 900 pages and don't have this much character development. Like, it's such a beautifully done, I don't know, I love it. I love it. Like, I'm convinced this book is not this good and that somehow it's just, somehow I have a connection to it, because there's no way I'm crying this much from an 80-page book. I'm so confused. I am on page 75. I just started the chapter Common Sense and Good Judgment. Okay, I just hit the last chapter and it's titled Forever. I have already started crying just at the end of the previous chapter, so I am anticipating a big tearful end. God. Oh my God. How do we go from Junie B. Jones to this? Like, okay. Whew. All right, I just finished. Mick Harte was here. Without a doubt, 100%, I am going to stand by. This is my favorite book of all time. Oh my gosh. I thought that maybe I had overhyped it as a kid and maybe it wasn't as good as I thought it was, but this is such a beautiful book. It's an emotional punch in the face. Like, there are so many different things hidden in here that make you just think, and it was so good. And the part in the beginning where she's like, this isn't the kind of story where you meet the main character, you fall in love with them, and then they die, is a total freaking lie, because like, you get so much through her telling the stories about her brother that you do know that character. It's so good, and the way it ends is just so beautiful. And I remembered the ending, but in a very like simple way, because I didn't remember the connection that it drew to the beginning of the story and to her memories with her brother. Like, I remembered the ending. I didn't remember the meaning behind the ending. And I kind of got hints of it throughout the story that I was like, oh, I forgot about that. But it just hit so different. Oh my gosh. This makes me want to reread like all of my childhood books. Like, I want to go grab Goose Girl by Shannon Hale and reread it. Like, should this be a series where I just reread books from my childhood? Because I will never find books like this again. Oh my gosh. This whole time I've been wanting to take this cover off and kind of look at it. It's just simple with some gold. Five stars, without a doubt. So many tears were shed. I think I'm gonna go and cry a little bit more. I'm probably gonna call my brother. This was so good, and I'm so grateful that I started this video because I have had this on the shelf. Like, I thrifted this copy of it probably a year ago, and I just haven't gotten back into reading it again because I was like, it's a children's book. Like, why do I need to read another children's book? I teach, so I read children's books all the time. Like, I'm not in the mood for it. It's not gonna be as good. It's not gonna live up to what I thought it was. This makes me even more adamant that this is still the best book I have ever read, and it's 87 pages. In 87 pages, she has had more character development and an analysis of grief in such a plain and cut and dry way than any author I've ever read. Like, this is beautiful. I'm gonna be so annoying now because I'm never gonna stop talking about this. I'm gonna call my brother. I'm gonna wrap this up. Okay. Let me know in the comments what you're reading now and what I should read next, even if it's not gonna live up to this standard. I will see you next time on Books with Beck. Love you. Bye.
Book Husband here. Like and subscribe. Love you. Bye.